So I had help with translation with my slides, so hopefully if you don't know English good enough, you will still get the message that I tried today on for today's session. As I said yesterday, I'm very honored to be here to speak with you and to meet all of you, to listen to your stories on how you have been using Joomla. And I'm going to present also some cases where people sent in some stories to me and told me how Joomla changed their lives. And I think that we all have those kind of stories. But I'm also going to talk about where Joomla has come from and where Joomla is going. So this is when it started. It started in 2005. These people, not all people was on this picture, but most of the people that started Joomla is on this picture. At that time, they didn't know that this picture will be this important 10 years later, because what they did was something that was really, really important for them. They felt really much pain when working with Mambo, because they got so sad and so hurt by the organization that owned Mambo, that they felt that they were so, they didn't have a choice, they just had to leave. And they had to bring the code, and that means that you fork a system, and that's okay in open source. That's actually something really good in open source, that you can. And that's an opportunity for everyone. These people decided to change radically. And they did it. And where are we now? 2015. I talked to Brian Tiemann, who's one of the co-founders in Italy this summer, and he was asked by one of the reporters from the Italian news channels, and they said, okay, did you know that you will have Joomla 10 years later, that you will stand here 10 years later? And he said no. So he is very surprised what he was part of starting evolved to what we are today. And he got the question, okay, do you think that Joomla will survive for at least 10 more years? And he said, if you asked me a couple years ago, I would say no. At this point in time, I think it's really going to happen. And this is something that really is good to hear, that a lot of people still believe in Joomla. After 10 years, we still feel that the energy and the power that started with this journey is just ongoing. And sometimes we can be cheerful, and we can say, Joomla rocks, and it's awesome, right? And sometimes we can be disappointed, because it could be that we're disappointed by things are not moving as fast as we want. Other systems are moving farther away, and we feel kind of jealous. Why aren't we there? And that's something that we have in common. And that's kind of a good place to be sometimes, because then you have to think, what is going to happen in the future, where we want to be. And then we have to look at our past to rethink how our future is going to be. And after 10 years, we can say that Joomla is doing quite fine. Joomla is doing more than fine. Joomla is very different from all the other systems that we are looking into and saying, oh, they're doing all this, and they have so much marketing, and they have so much users. But they also have paid staff. They have paid leadership. They have paid development. And they have money that they got from investors. Joomla doesn't have anything like that. The Joomla is very different. We don't have a leader that started Joomla that still is on the stage. I'm not one of the founders. I'm a president that's chosen by members of the community to be part of this organization, to do something I can do. And that's different. And I think that we should share it, because it's never been done before. To be as successful as we have been with just volunteer power, that's awesome. And I think that's something that we are celebrating this year. It's not just we're celebrating Joomla 10 years, we're celebrating everyone that's been dedicating their time for free to do something this marvelous that we can all join into and all use for free. So that's something that we can see. If we look at the numbers, a lot of people usually look at numbers when we look at how are we doing, how is the health of Joomla. And we can say that today, it's been more than 63 million downloads of Joomla. And that's only from Joomla.org, because the only way we can track those numbers. In addition, we have all the download areas around the world where you have packaged Joomla. We have that on the Italian website for Joomla. It's in Italian, and they download their version from their download area. We don't know how many they are. We have the Spanish community that has exactly the same thing. The Russian community has the same thing. We have all the web hosts that believes that Joomla is a powerful tool for their users, so they put that into the one-click installer in their websites or in their web host environment. And that's numbers we have no idea. But these are the numbers we can track and those we can measure. And what it means is that every 2-3 seconds, one Joomla is downloaded. When you talk to other companies or other software developers, these are numbers that they are amazed by. They look at these numbers and think, how do you do that? Can I learn from you guys to do the same thing for my software? So we should share these numbers, and we should make sure that we really realize that this is very powerful. Instead of being jealous of other people or other solutions, we should celebrate those numbers. And every 2-3 seconds, that's only from Joomla.org. So I think that you should be maybe looking at numbers in every 1 second to be reality. Today, we have 218 people that's been helping with building the core of Joomla for the past 12 months. That's amazing. Think of a company that has developers on staff. They don't have 218 people doing this. And these 218 people never got paid. This is their free time. And many of them spend not 2 hours a day, they spend more. Because this is something that they feel that they can give back to the community. And they feel that it's really, really powerful for them to learn how to collaborate with others, learn how to do better code, and also have the experience of testing new code bases and testing new ways of doing things. At this point in time, we have 7,400 add-ons to Joomla. Those are usually the reason why people use Joomla in the first place. They go to Google and they look for maybe e-commerce, free e-commerce, or they look for forums, or they look for community, they look for mail, they look for anything, and they find that there's an extension and you have to install it on Joomla. And now they get curious, what is Joomla? And then they come to Joomla.org and they download it. So for us as a community, the ecosystem around Joomla, when it comes to third-party extension developers, when it comes to hosting companies, when it comes to training companies, when it comes to web agencies or developers that makes websites for Joomla, for others, these are the ones who actually carry this movement forward that we are growing. And sometimes we forget that we don't think of that we should thank them for the power that Joomla has. We are more than 673,000 people that registered on the Joomla.org site 10 years later. That's a huge amount of people that are communicating and asking questions, sharing knowledge. And I was just gonna ask you for a favor. If you ask something on a forum and you get a response that helps you, please say thank you. Because thank you is the only currency we have. We can say funny, like when I meet you at the next Joomla Day or Joomla event, I will buy you a Joomla beer. But you know what? Thank you means more. Because thank you means that someone actually listened to that question. They thought of a solution. They took the time to write that answer, and now they would like to know if that actually helped you or not. It could be that it doesn't help you, and then you need to say, I tried it, this is my new result I got. Can someone please advise me? Because next time someone comes into that forum, they can see that they have the same kind of question, and here is the result, and it worked. We say thank you because it's a very cheap way of saying something that means a lot, because it means that someone else who's been responding to that question will spend some time and respond to other questions just because they got the thank you. These many topics are the ones that are on the Joomla.org forum today. That's a lot of questions, right? A lot of heated discussions, a lot of good discussions, a lot of curious discussions. And we have Joomla in 59 languages, and that's bigger than any other CMS. And that is also key why Joomla for the last 10 years have been so successful and growing so much in especially not countries that have English as their native language. So this is one of the key factors why Joomla has been so successful. And I want to thank you, because you have been being a part of the translation for the Polish version. And thanks to that, a lot of Polish people have been able to download Joomla and use it in their own language. And that's awesome. Can we just thank him? So these are how many user groups there are in Joomla at the moment. When I started to do this kind of map in the spring, there was 190. And in every country I've been to, I've been saying, I know that there is people meeting, I know that you are discussing Joomla, but you haven't formally actually registered on this site. And if you don't, we don't know. And we want to see all the user groups on this map, because this is not the right numbers, I promise you. So the Italian people didn't know, when I came to that community, that there was a possibility to even register. So when they found that out, they were so happy, and they got like, oh, finally we're going to be recognized. And we're going to show everybody that we are a big community. Because for the Italian community, there's 1,200 people coming to Joomla Day. It's huge. And they have user groups, but they were not registered. So for us, as a community, it's really important for us to recognize everyone, because then we know how big we are, and the numbers could be better, because they could be actually accurate. So there is different ways of using Joomla. I get the question all the time, what is Joomla, and who's using Joomla, and how can you use Joomla? And I think that we haven't even decided that as a community who's going to use Joomla, because Joomla is for free, it's for everyone, just download it, try it out, see if it works for you. But I think it's good to know that there is a way of using Joomla that I think could be a good way for us to communicate what is Joomla and how you can use it. Our new product that we started to launch in January this year for the solution, and it's Joomla.com. How many of you have been to Joomla.com? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So maybe half of you. Great. What did you think? Easy, right? You didn't have to install it. You didn't have to figure out how an FTP or a database worked. You didn't have to think of how to do a web host. You can just go there, start a website within a couple of seconds, actually. And it's free. There is no advertising. And there is extensions that are made for you that you can use. And I can see there are a lot of Joomla user groups using this. I can see a lot of users that have been using maybe another platform for blogging before, now start using this instead. So I would say that if someone asks what is Joomla, what can you do with Joomla, send them to this. It's free. They can test it, try it out. They don't have to know so much to get started. Then we have the CMS of Joomla, the downloadable one. The first step when you start using Joomla, it might be that it's one-click install at the web host. You download nothing, you just install it by clicking. You configure it and you put in your content, you upload your images, you put your navigation in place, you add a template that you like, and you add the extensions you want. Pretty simple, right? Almost everyone can do that. Then we have the next step of users. And the users are more the ones that actually go to Joomla.org, they download it, they find a host where they want to host it, or they self-host it. They can configure it and put the template and adding into the content, but they can also make template overrides. Because now maybe you have more knowledge. And you can even modify the extension so it works exactly how you want it. And even if you are even more advanced, you can download Joomla, put it on a web host. You can also make your totally own templates, and you can make your own extensions. So, as you see, Joomla CMS covers a lot of different users and a lot of different needs. And to try that out, it's easy to go to demo.joomla.org. There's 2 different demos. One demo is 90 minutes. You click on the button and you are in the Joomla admin interface. You use it how much you want. You can import anything you want. You can install anything you want and try it out. And it's free. We added the other demo that had 30 days before for tryout. It's now 90 days. That's 3 months. So I listen to more and more people saying that they have now started not to do local host development for their clients. They use this instead. For 3 months they can work with that environment. The clients can go in there and test it and see it, and then they can just click and upgrade, or they can actually export everything and come to their own host and launch it to their client. So it's a really good tool if you're building websites. And then if you're really, really advanced as a developer, you can use the framework of Joomla, and you can build your own CMS or your own web service solution with the power of Joomla. So you can see there is a lot of different starting points, going here, moving over here, and that is something that is really different from a lot of other CMSs, where you have one target group with one kind of set of tools and experience, and Joomla has more. So if you're an advanced programmer, you should check the framework out. So the reason why we do this is because open source is a journey of learning. And you need to start somewhere that is good for you. And you can start anywhere on this journey. And you can sometimes use Joomla.com or maybe your blog. Sometimes you're really working with someone to make a website that is really advanced, and you need to have different skill sets. And sometimes you want to do your own platform and your own website solution. And then Joomla is also the power for you. So Joomla 3 is the Joomla series we have now. And you learned a lot about that yesterday, right? Everything that you can do and add to that functionality. Joomla 3 is going to be here for a long time. It's a powerful and very good platform for building websites. We're going to see a lot of different things coming to the 3 series, because that's different from before. We had 1.5 and we had that for a long time, and then we have 2.5, we had that for a long time. Now we're going to have 3.5, we're going to have 3.6, we're going to have 3.7. And those things are going to add on new functionality. It's not just going to be maintained and bug-free, it's going to be with new features as well. So I'm looking forward to a new admin interface template. I'm looking forward to a Joomla mobile app. I'm looking forward to web services in Joomla 3. So we don't have to wait for Joomla 4 to have that kind of functionality. And then we have Joomla 4. Anyone knows what that is? We're waiting, right? We always wait for the next release. because we are innovators. We want to have something new and fresh. Our clients want to have stability, or the users want to have stability. But the people that are building websites want to have new things to learn and new possibilities. So I think that we have looked into that kind of, it's like a challenge, right? You need to have good ways of doing things, but it has to be stable. So the 3 series are going to be here for a long time. When we stop continuing developing on the 3 series, it's going to stay for 2 more years. So they can stay on that. If you want to build something really nice in the future, Joomla 4 is going to be around. Finally, we have a new mindset in how we're going to develop a Joomla CMS. And I'm, yes, very, very happy about that. Because if you look at the feedback that I get on conferences like this, it's like the admin interface is so confusing. Clients can't use it, or users can't use it, and I get so much support and I don't know how to train them. Or it could be, well, we need to have more training, and I don't know where to find all the documentation around this. Could be that I want to do this, but I feel there is no way to get that out of the system. How can I do that? So there's a lot of wishes, and I think that we, in this new mindset, is going to cover more than we have before. Joomla has been code-driven and driven by developers, and now we are going to work with 4 teams together to develop 4. There's going to be one architect team who's going to work on the architect of the code. So the code is going to be easy to maintain, so we can have stability. Easier to extend, so the extension developers will be happier to do extensions for Joomla. And it's not going to be so much time to change things all over again all the time. We have a interface or UX team. And we never had that before in this kind of caliber of a whole team that is working together with the architect team, saying, this is the personas of all the different users of Joomla. This is the problems that they face, these are the things that they want to do, and this is how they want to do it. So it's not going to be code-driven, it's going to also be user interface and UX experience-driven. And that's really, really something that I think that we all agree that it's very, very important. Because the users that start using a system, they see just the interface. They don't see the fantastic code that we have in Joomla. They see the interface, and if it's not something that they feel it's easy, they feel it's hard, they leave and they go somewhere else. So I think this is going to be really, really good. And we have a marketing team that is working really at this moment in time with those other 2 teams to find a way how to tell the community and tell others what's going on from the start. So it's not going to be someone building something and then the marketing team will have this to promote. There will be something that we are going to do together. And the 4th team is a training team. And the training team is going to be responsible for telling all the extension developers about the new power of the platform, or the CMS. The training team will also tell how users can use it, so others can teach how Joomla works with the new interface. And I think these 4 teams together will make magic, because they are so empowered. They have so much support, and they have the specialty of both new people that comes from other places and haven't been around Joomla as much, so they have new input. And we have people that have been with the project for a long time, that has the history, that knows what's going on. So the major factor that they decided that they're going to do is, except for working with these 4 teams, is also to make sure that we have a migration that's going to be easy and it's going to be supported by the project. It's not going to be some third party that's going to do that. So I think this is awesome news. I really want to look forward to see more. I know there's going to be a lot of different sessions on this. Last weekend was the first time anyone said anything about this officially, and that was at the German Joomla Day. There's a session in German, if you know German, on YouTube already. They're going to do this, so they're going to do this in English and other languages as well, to explain more what they're doing. So if we look at, I said before that we haven't had really a target group for Joomla. I think that we have a lot of users for Joomla, but it's hard to be everything for everyone all the time. So it's easier for the project to communicate with one target group. It doesn't mean that other target groups are less important. It's just we don't have the bandwidth to talk to everyone, everywhere, all the time. So if you look at the target group of people building websites for others, to have them choose Joomla as their preferred tool to serve their clients or the company they work for or something else. That's really, really powerful to get started there. And to make sure that they have the right tools. They need to have training. They need to have maybe certification so they know that it can validate their knowledge. They need to have a marketing that works for them so they can tell everybody what Joomla is. But they don't have to maybe do something, a brochure what Joomla is here, and then some brochure what Joomla is here. If we can make one, and we use our volunteer time very smart, then we can translate it, and we can have one voice what Joomla is, and it's very powerful. Because I think that the Joomla.org website is really, really good, but it's really for people that already know Joomla. People that are new, they go to someone who builds websites and say, hi, I want to have a website built. Can you help me? Yes. Okay, I use Joomla, is that okay? What is Joomla? And then you have to explain. But you are the ones who have the contact with your clients. You are the one who's contact with the users. So you are the ones who's going to say, I'm going to build a website for you on Joomla because I know this is the right tool for you. It's going to solve what you want. And I know this, and I can train you using it. That's more powerful than an advertising banner campaign on any site, because it's your relationship with others that matters more. So to make sure that we can do this, that we can make a change for the better in our organization and the way we work, we need to make some changes. And in leadership, we've been discussing this for a little bit more than a year. We found out that this is not working that well that we want it to be. This was a way of organizing ourselves that we have outgrown because we are a huge organization now. It's not how it was when they were starting out with like 20 people. Now we are so many more, and we need to have a better organization and better way of working to be more professional. Yes, because we're staffed by volunteers doesn't mean that we can be something else than professional, because we are so, it really, really needs to be accountable for other people that have websites on Joomla. They count on us to really provide them with the best tool. They don't want to have an insecurity. They want to know when things are launched. They want to know what it is and how they can use it. And we cannot say that we didn't have time doing it because we did something else. So today we have Open Source Matter, which is the organization, that's a non-for-profit organization where I'm the president on the board. Then we have the PLT, which is the production leadership team. And then we have the community leadership team. And those are not going to be anymore because the leadership decided that we are going to make this organization more transparent, more empowered, and more structured than something different so people can relate where do I fit in? Where can I volunteer? Where can I spend my time? So there is going to be a department structure with a board. So instead, we're going to have a production, a legal and finance, there's going to be a marketing, there's going to be local communities, which means all of you. It's going to be operations and events and programs. And this transition is made this fall. So there's going to be more positions, well-defined positions, and we're going to work as one team, like one organization with a lot better workflow, a lot better processes and communication. So in this part you can see there is different departments, and all the departments will have a representative in the board. It means that when we make decisions, everyone has a voice in the board. And that's not what's happening right now. So I think this is going to be really, really good for everyone. And all the team members in this different teams are going to vote for their team leader once a year. And those team leaders will choose who's going to be the representative on the board. So it's going to be much more, a very more diversified and empowered organization that chooses their leaders in a good way. So what I see and what I predict is that we are going to have a good place when we come into 2016. I think we're going to have an organization that's poised to grow with a renewed focus and a vision for the future. And that's what I believe in. I think that we are in a really good place with a really good product, with a really new product that's amazing in the new way of mindset that we have. And with the organization, we can also have a really good vision that we decide on together, and we can get moving. And my vision is that everybody felt empowered to join into that journey. And when I get this question, why do you really put so much time? Because I'm not paid. I'm here on my free time. I'm invited to be here. But everybody is non-paid, so everybody has a why. Why we do this? Why do we spend so much time? Why did you spend so much time to create this Joomla Day, for example? Like, everybody has a why, and this is my why. I believe that I want to contribute to something larger than me, to do something different for everyone else that has an impact for them locally and also globally. And I think we can do that. And I think that we do that every single day when we do something like this. And that's my why, but everybody has their own why. I always want to share it with you so you know. So this is the Joomla Changing Life things. I'm just going to show you one of them, because I have so many. Let's show this one. We've been talking a lot about organization, and we talked about maybe building websites for others. But this woman, I met her in Kenya when I was there this spring. And I was sharing all these life-changing stories, how people change lives. And she came up to me afterwards, and she said, "Sir, I have a story for you that you don't have, that I want to share with you." And I said, "Okay, what is it?" And she said, "I met my love of my life, my partner in life, through Joomla." I was like, okay. Usually you think of, yeah, I built my business, I got successful, I earned this money, or I learned a new language because I was forced to. But no, I haven't heard anything like that. So what her story was that she got asked by her boss to make a website, and she had no idea how to do this. And she was sitting at a cafe trying to figure this out, and HTML and CSS, and trying to do something, and she was really concerned, and she looked worried. And there was a man coming to her and sitting next to her and said, "What are you doing?" And she explained that she was trying to do this for her boss, but she couldn't dare to say that she couldn't. And he was like, "Yeah, okay." And she was not paying attention to him that much because he was more bothering her than being some friendly person that she had time to communicate with. But after a while, they met a certain amount of, like, he came in there every day and she was there every day, and then finally he came with her with a USB stick and said, you should download this and try this out. And she's like, what is this? And he's like, yeah, let me show you. And he did. And it was Joomla. And she opened that up and she was like, wow, this is going to solve all my problems. I'm going to be this magic person who's going to bring something really good to my boss. And she did. And he was very pleased. And he said, how did you learn to do this fast? So she did something is because all of us and everybody else around Joomla actually made a system and a software and a CMS that works that well that you don't have to learn for a long time to do something in Joomla. So she had to go and accept that he wanted to invite her to a date. And now they have 2 kids. They have one of the largest, most popular CMS open source companies in their country, and very successful. But that was how it started. It was not that successful. That started was very much a pain that Joomla solved that gave her extra bonus in form of family and also business. So Joomla can change lives. That's really, you don't think of code doing that, but it's more the community. Okay, so cakes, right? Yay. Have you seen a lot of cakes recently? So this is a cake I got in Malaysia. This is a cake that they had at the Joomla Day last weekend. And this is the cake that they have in Kenya that they were eating yesterday because they have a Joomla Day in Kenya this weekend as well. And they asked me to say hi to all of you because they felt like sisterhood when it came to we have the same Joomla Day.
How big the community in Kenya is?
I don't know actually, but it's pretty big. And Joomla is very, very popular in Kenya. I think it's in 60% of the most popular CMSs. Okay, so we have a new name. We got this name at the World Conference. It's called Joomlers. We have been having a problem of having a word that we have in common for explaining what we are. And we have decided that Joomlers is a good word. And I think it's awesome that we are so many and that we share our knowledge and experience that well with each other. So if you would like to join the new energy that we have in our community, where we have a milestone when we are turning 10 and we want to continue at least 10 more years, and we want to do really, really good things, where we have a foundation to make it possible, I would like to invite you to this site and register, and we can help you get started. It doesn't mean that you have to spend as much time as maybe you did before this Joomla Day. I know it's very hectic, but sometimes it could be good if we are spending maybe 2 hours a week. Look at this room. If we are this many people, and we all dedicate 2 hours of volunteer time to Joomla, that's a lot of hours this week. And you don't have to know how to code, you can know how to document, translate, create events like this, do user groups, talk about Joomla in social media. Everything matters, and everything counts, and everything makes a difference. So I want to say thank you to everyone, and I enjoyed to be here, and I hope that we're going to talk more this coming day. Okay? Thank you.